Yeah, we're gonna get started. So here's what we're gonna do. Normally I would do this for everyone in the room, but mostly we have leadership in the office, except Mr. Pierre, right?
Yeah. Right on.
So you guys online, you guys get to help play along, but everyone except the leadership team gets to take a number here. So hang on to that for the class. Okay. John, can you help? You're gonna stay here the
I
whole
got
time?
you.
Okay, so Tammy, this is you. Tammy, right here. So John's gonna give you one. Candy, you're here. That's for you. Jordan, that's for you. Write them down in order.
Yep.
Who else? Tracy, that's for you. Carissa, hello, that's for you. And then lastly, we have Emily. Okay, you got that order?
Got it.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we got 7. So this is profit share light. And the reason I'm saying it's light is this is a 2-hour class. We're doing in about an hour in 5 minutes. Okay, so we're going to be here through 12:10-ish, give or take. If you got to leave, just leave. All right, let me try the clicker. Doesn't work. So that's fine. All right, so what do you want to get out of today? And I want you guys online to chime in. I'm going to take some notes, and you can hit the next slide. Yeah, I'll just give you one of these when you hit the slide. How about that? Right. Okay, so what do you want to get out of today? We could spend an hour together. And so for you to walk out here and say, this was the best hour of your day besides the boat trip later, what needs to happen in the next 48 minutes?
I want to learn how to explain this to agents from other brokerages.
Okay, explain and thus understand. Okay, cool. What else? Feel free to type in the chat. What else you want to get out today?
Kimmy, would you like to make money, passive income? All right. I know you will, but there are people sitting here and online that would benefit from making $500 to $1,000 a month.
Passive income / power of. Okay. What else?
I want to learn how the new splits affect us for profit share.
Oh, that's a good one, Tammy. Tammy and Hutchinson says, how did the new splits affect us from a profit share standpoint? So, man, I'm going to buy the office new markers. Great. So said a different way is, how's the new cap structure impact us? Okay, because it does. Just studying reports from Otsego, and profit is down like 47%. That impacts us. What else? One more. What do you want to get out of today?
How much money can I expect to make from people in my downline?
Mm-hmm. Look at that, green, money, expectations. Okay. Perfect. By show of hands, how many of you have been to a profit share class before? Thumbs up online. Tammy has. Matt has. Anybody else? Rosie has. Okay, so for most of you, this is your first experience here as it pertains to profit share. So here's why we do this. I'll have you hit the next slide. So Matt, you were in Seattle, right? Matt was not in Seattle.
Boston.
That's right. Matt wasn't in Seattle. So we went to Keller Williams used to have a class called Recharge. Still do. And we got to go to Seattle a couple years ago. We got to meet former quarterback Brock Heward, voice of the Huskies, I think he is. Is that right? He was cool. We got to throw fish, see the Space Needle, and we got to see some awesome speakers, including Mary Tennant, our former president of Keller Williams. One thing she said was probably the most impactful line of the whole entire weekend for me was 10 to 15 years from now, the only thing that'll matter is if we help our agents build wealth. 10 to 15 years from now, the only thing that'll matter is if we help our agents build wealth. What we don't want is we don't want you to be that guy who puts his last sold sign in the yard, has one foot in the grave, you put the other foot in, you close the door and you're done. And you got no legacy or family, nothing to leave for your family, and you have no money to live. Because we work to live, we don't live to work. Okay? So profit share is a vehicle for you guys to build long-term wealth for your family if you choose to participate. Now, statistics show about 20% of Kelrin's associates participate in profit share. That's okay. If you choose not to, honestly, that's up to you. But at the end of the day, you need to figure out a vehicle to build wealth. Does everyone here know what your net worth is? Okay. Whether you're negative in the hole because you have a ton of student loan debt or whatever, you guys need to know what your net worth is on a daily basis. And we could do a class on this. I have a net worth tracker that my wife and I update probably 4 times a month. We just bought a new house in Woodbury, and that's impacting our net worth, right? So if you don't have your net worth tracker set up, see me and I'll help you set that up. You guys online, happy to help you with that. And profit share is just a piece of it because it definitely can help impact your net worth to invest more, to pay off debt, to have another stream of income. All right. So I've been asked, I think 3 times, why this jersey? Let me ask you a question. Who is your favorite professional athlete? Who is your favorite professional athlete and why? And feel free to chime in online if you want. Favorite professional athlete?
LeBron James.
LeBron James. The pride of Akron.
Oh, yeah.
Why do we like LeBron?
Just he does everything right. He's got his family. He's got his take care of the kids in the neighborhood, and just I love what he does on the court and off the court. So he's just a rounded guy. It seems like I would take him out for some coffee or something.
Nice. And if you took him out for coffee, what would you ask him?
What would I ask LeBron James? Never even thought about that. When I asked LeBron James, do you know anybody that wants to buy or sell?
That's funny. Cool. Who else? Thanks for sharing. Favorite athlete? You can only choose one. Come on, Brady.
Well, I'm just like, I'm waiting for the room to show up here to start commenting. So,
I mean, we got like 20 people online now.
yeah,
Favorite athlete, anyone?
I'll go just right now. And there's so many, but just even right now, Mookie Betts for the Dodgers.
Mookie. Well, I'm thinking Mookie Wilson. Is that the guy from the Mets?
That's long
Was
time
it
ago.
Wilson? Mookie
Yeah,
Wilson.
Mookie.
Okay, why Mookie Betts?
Just his energy, his family dynamics, what he's done with the Dodger organization since coming over from the Red Sox, but how he gives to the community. And if I were to ask him a question, if I was having lunch, I would ask Mookie, who are the 3 people that he most admires and why?
Nice. Mookie Betts. I like it. Okay, so hit the next slide. Okay, so here is my favorite professional athlete. Anybody know who this guy is? Over here on the left.
Drew Bledsoe.
Mr. Drew Bledsoe. Click next. Okay, right there. First overall pick, 1993. When we were listening to Pearl Jam, I was, how old was I? I was just 15 years old. Kind of the heyday of my high school years. I bought his jersey custom purchase before they even sold them. For some reason, I just liked the guy. I do have a 9-month-old son named Drew. No joke. After Drew Bledsoe. His name's actually Andrew, but my son's name, that is. But yeah, Drew Bledsoe, first overall pick for the New England Patriots, 1993. We understand what happened second year, got hurt. Some guy named Tom Brady, 6th-round pick starts, and the rest is history, right? All right, quick on the next slide. Okay, so Drew played 14 years in the NFL for 3 different teams and made 79 million bucks. If you follow Drew right now on Instagram, they have a winery out in the Pacific Northwest, and he's doing okay. Okay. Now, if you click one more time here. So here's the deal, and we're going to tie this in here. So Drew made about $700,000 a year. And again, back 1993 is a long time ago. Money was different then. For a total of 9.8 million in endorsement money. Okay? In endorsement money. What's endorsement money?
Products.
Selling
Selling products. Selling products.
Selling products, okay? For example?
It's traced on Subway or something, like doing something for Subway or
Yeah,
some other organization or corporation of some sort.
yeah, exactly. Anybody else know any big endorsement deals that are happening right now? Think of some Air Jordans we might have on. Is that an endorsement deal?
Could be.
Okay. Used to see Joe Mauer around town with the got milk, right? Mustache. Can you think of any other endorsements?
I mean, every commercial we see has somebody's endorsing.
Right. A lot of famous people, right?
Mobiles and Subway.
There you go. Okay, so from this moment forward, here's what I want you to think of. Keller Williams profit share is your endorsement deal. You get paid to help people buy and sell homes, right? Drew Bledsoe made 79 million bucks throwing footballs, playing quarterback. Profit share is your Keller Williams endorsement deal. Fun part is you don't have to sign a contract, you don't have to do anything. You get to choose whether or not you're the spokesperson and benefit by this completely free endorsement deal. The word endorsement, basically an act of giving one's public approval or support for someone or something. The issue of full independence received overwhelming endorsement. You basically, as one of the best agents in our market, whether you're in Hutchinson, Lake Minnetonka, Otsego, wherever, you guys get to be the very best agent you want to be and choose to endorse Keller Williams every opportunity in every single transaction and everywhere you go if you want. Now, that doesn't mean you need to be salesy whatsoever. This is not a sales pitch by any means, but it starts with you being a great agent. Okay, so I have 4 goals in our time together. 1, make sure you understand the importance of wealth building and passive income, which was on the list. Thank you, Matt. Understand how profit share works, and probably the key part of this whole entire thing is the impact profit share has on our culture. Help you put a plan in place if you choose. If you walk out of here and do absolutely nothing, this was a complete waste of time. Okay, so my ask of you for everyone online and in the room is I want you to come up with one action item. If you choose to come up with one action item that you can put in place if you want to benefit from this endorsement deal. And then the last goal would be to make sure I cover your goals, which are all these 4 things. Sound good? Okay, so what is passive income? Money you receive without doing anything actively to earn it. Profit share is passive income. We were taught long ago that passive income does take active involvement. You can't just do nothing at all and get profit share. However, you can benefit long after the fact of you taking the action to introduce someone to Keller Williams. That's where the passive part comes in. All right. How many have heard of the Robert Kiyosaki and Rich Dad Poor Dad in the cash flow quadrant? Pretty much everyone? You guys online, have you guys heard of that? Okay, so there are 4 ways to make money very quickly, and this will tie into our first goal as far as passive income and wealth building. You can be an employee and have a job. My daughters, I have 3 teenagers. One works at Target at the Galleria. One now got a job at the Caribou right by the Vikings facility. And my son works at Valley Fair. They all have jobs, right? That's great. I could be a doctor, that's a job. Right? I could be a team leader, technically, that's a job. Whatever you want, a million people who have jobs, and that's a great way to make a living if you want to go that route. Can you build wealth that way? You can, and yet there are very few actual jobs that you're going to build a lot of long-term wealth over time if you don't invest that money. All right. You can be self-employed. Okay. All of us are realtors, right? Technically, we're all self-employed. You're an independent contractor here or Minnetonka, Otsego, Minneapolis. That means you're self-employed. The problem or the opportunity there is there's no leverage here. The amount of active work determines your income. You're trading the time for money. Right? And again, this is an amazing way to build wealth and build a living too. The problem is time. All right. So if you read the MREA book, which all of us have, and it teaches you how to build a 7th level business, you then can become a business owner. All right. I mean, I see people on the call here who have teams, right? Jennifer McFadden, I know obviously you have a team. There's a lot of teams in our brokerages, and that's a way to be a business owner. Rosie's joining a team, right? Graham is building a business worth owning where he has people that work with him to make money, right? I could be a business owner. I could own a cookie crumble franchise. I could own a Subway. I could own a, you name it. That's a way to make money as well. And then lastly, you make money via your investments where your money works for you. All right. Investments could be, if you saw, I posted on Facebook yesterday, I have an Airbnb that would be about a $5,000 a month return on investment over in South Minneapolis. If you want to buy that, that's a great investment. If you want to invest in the stock market, if you want to benefit via profit share, essentially profit share is like an investment from a standpoint of the money just comes to you over time. There's nothing active you need to do. All right. So with profit share, completely, entirely, wholly, absolutely passive income when you introduce people to Keller Williams as the endorsement deal. Bless you, Rosie. No risk, no legal risk, no down payment, no phone calls. And that's kind of iffy because if you're actually involved in profit share at a high level, you should be doing whatever you can do to help the people you've introduced to the company and outside of the company be as successful as possible. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so why do we profit share? We take a break from talking and you guys can answer that. Why do we profit share? Those of you guys who know. And if there's stuff in the chat there, feel free to chime in. Okay. Anybody know? Are we a profit share? Anybody want to give us a historical lesson if that's worth sharing? Sabrina?
I want some other people to chime in. The biggest reason we profit share, as you know, is back when things are growing, but then Remax comes into the picture and they take a number of top agents from Keller Williams and other agents go and follow. There was a small core group that stuck with Gary and they all got together. They kind of brainstormed, how do we keep people here? How do we help them not only stay, but how do we help them thrive? How do we help them understand that their investment, they're longing to be a part of the team, stay a part of the team. Thus, they came up with profit share because they said, we want an interest in it. To be able to stay, we want an interest. And that's where profit share really came about because this is kind of, as you know, roughly 52% of the profit goes to the owners and investors, and the other 48 is shared with agents. Every single Keller Williams Market Center, every single month is shared. So that's the interest that was kind of birthed way back when.
Yep. And so how, that's the win-win. Did you hear that? Say that last part again. Every single month.
Every single month, 48% thereabouts is actually shared with agents all across the globe. And yeah, that truly is the win-win. We can get into it a little bit, some of the things that I have prepared to talk and chime in on. But this is a big part of our portfolio.
Mm-hmm. Huge. And it changes every single thing we do. Yep. All right, next slide. Okay, so there are folks in our system that earn more than 100% commission via profit share. Okay, now with the new cap structure, 13,000 plus 3, there are tons of agents in our system who make more than $13,000 a year in profit share. That's how you can make more than 100%. So I have a realtor friend of mine in Bloomington is with another brokerage, and she's like, "Oh, I'm never gonna leave. I'm at a 95.5 over here, and I love it." And I'm like, "Cool. What's that 5% equal?" And she's like, "I don't know." And she does about 17 million a year, and so that 5% she's paying far exceeds what she would pay here at Keller Williams. And she's like, "I haven't been to my office in several years, and they just have weekly team meetings that I don't go to." And so her and I are going to meet, and she's like, "I have zero interest in going to Keller Williams, just, you know," and I'm like, "Awesome, let's meet." And the dialogue is much more than money. You're good. Yep. Stay there. It's about culture. It's about environment. It's about training. It's about passive income. It's about wealth. It's about how do we help you be the very best you can be. And so we'll talk about that in a little bit, but there are plenty of people in our system who make more than 100%. I think, in fact, with the new profit share or with the new cap structure, I mean, you know, myself, Pam Kerber, there are several of us who make more than 100%. So, all right. So how does it work? For you guys who are high SCs, and I see some of you online up there, we're not going to get into the weeds as far as running nerdy spreadsheets and profit share factors and all that to teach you how this works at a nerdy numbers level. We're going to go over it at a high level, and then we're going to do an exercise. Okay. And I'm going to show you, are we hooked up to audio if I want to play a couple videos?
Yeah, I mean, I can do that, yeah.
Okay, cool. So here's how it works at a very high level. And again, if you want to nerd out over the numbers, I can do that with you another time. Okay, so someone joins the office and names you as the reason they joined. And again, there's a 2-minute video we can play on that. If we have time, we'll see how it goes. But every single person within our company names the reason they joined, someone as the reason they joined. Okay? They pay company dollar. Okay, what is that? What is company dollar? Okay, so to Tammy's question, company dollar is the 20% that you pay on every deal until you're capped. Okay, so my cap, and I'll use myself in the example we're going to use. My cap just reset July 1st. So I think I have 3 closings this month.
Exactly.
We like when you reset.
So to answer your question, Tammy, so over the long term, it doesn't necessarily matter. You may receive less profit share in the beginning because I'm paying company dollar this month on those 3 closings. I'm paying 20% instead of 30%. I'm paying less per transaction, but I'm paying the same amount over the year. So as we grow over time, it's going to end up being the same. Initially, it may be less as far as what you pay and what you profit share due to the less company dollar you pay in. To answer your question. So initially, it may be less. Over time, it should be more. Okay. So I'm paying company dollar on these 3 transactions. 20% of my commissions goes to the market center. Everyone cool? The market center is profitable. Okay. So if you're in the Otsego office, we've been profitable every single month in the history of the brokerage, knock on wood. If you've been in other market centers, that's not necessarily the case. And our trajectory is such that we are going to be profitable in every single market center. We've been profitable every month here for as long as I can remember. If you're new to the Eden Prairie, new to the Butler Group, Eden Prairie, we're definitely going to help you increase your profit. Minneapolis's profits off the charts. Minnetonka has had a little bit of a down year, and overall, you guys are profitable. So know that you guys are in a great office. You're in a great group with the Butler Group. All the offices are historically profitable. And Eden Prairie, you joined us, and we're going to help you be historically profitable as well. Okay, on the 21st of the month, some of the market centers profited is automatically deposited into your account if you introduce someone to the company and they had closings and paid company dollar. Okay, so if you joined us and have zero influence in helping us grow anywhere in the world, you won't get profit share. So it's not an automatic. All right, and again, there are nerdy numbers here we could nerd out on, which we're not going to, but we'll do an exercise to show you how it works. Okay, so I had to update the slide. The last time I taught this class was April of 2020 in COVID times, and I did it via Zoom from like the corner office in there. So I had to update this. So after 3 years and a day, you used to be vested. Now it's 7 years, depending on when you join, correct? Yep. And then you can will your profit share to anyone you want. So when I was team leader up in Otsego, we had 4 deaths 4 years in a row. And all of those folks, unfortunately, who passed away, fortunately, their spouses received their profit share still to this day. You got Dave Nicolai, his wife Shirley, Travis Keel, his wife Erin. They all still receive profit share dollars from the Otsego office. Super cool. Shirley gets about 10 grand a year in profit share as Dave's spouse. So that's a cool deal. Again, we're talking about leaving a legacy and building wealth. Someday my profit share will be willed to my kids. That's a huge deal. All right, any questions up to this point before we dive into the exercise?
What was the calculation from changing it from 3 years in a day to 7 years?
Yeah, good question. Good question. Anybody remember that? That was a couple years ago. So we went to that IALC meeting, if I remember. There was, what was the rationale for making it longer? Do you remember, Matt? I'm trying to think.
I mean, the nuts and bolts of it is with competition on the landscape, kind of like the story I told way back when Remax came on the landscape. Other places were coming about and putting opportunities in front of agents. And therefore, some agents were actually staying at Keller Williams for 3 years in one day, but then they leave to go somewhere else and they still would actually make, and Perry knows this, and there's some agents who make a considerable amount of money still in their different brokerages. So the premise behind that really was, we want you to have a vested interest, meaning not just vested from the standpoint financially, but vested interest kind of heart-wise that you're on this team and you intend to stay on this team. And that's the reason why that's ultimately the bottom line, the reason why they moved it to 7 years.
Yep. So we're going to just show you a quick 1 minute and 40-second video. Was there any other questions?
How does any other brokerage compete with that though? With the profit sharing?
When deal
The ones that do profit sharing?
There's brokerages that do revenue share. There are brokerages that do stock options. There's brokerages that are 100% commission. When you look at all companies, and I say this with all due respect to all brokerages, if we're recording or whatnot, there are a lot of great companies out there. I think when you compare us to all the other ones from a total package standpoint, training, culture, leadership, environment, wealth building, profit share, support from Keller Williams International. I mean, I go on, and I could show up and throw up Keller Williams all over you. We're without question the total package. And again, there are other great brokerages out there. So, all right, to mix it up, because you guys have 9-minute attention spans and we're about 27 minutes into this, we're going to show you just a quick 2-minute video to show you how profit share works. And then we're going to do an exercise.
deals close, agents who haven't capped pay company dollar to the market center. The market center uses that money to pay its bills. What's left over is profit. Every real estate business is in business for profit, and usually the owners keep all of that profit. This practice makes sense. Owners invest in businesses with the hope of seeing a return. At Keller Williams Realty, we do things a little differently. We believe in growing the business together. So we split the profit between the owners who took the risk and the associates who have helped grow the market center. Roughly 52% goes to the owners who took the risk, and roughly 48% goes to the associates who helped grow the market center. So, how is it dispersed? We figure out what percentage of the market center's profit is a result of that associate, and we take that percentage of the profit share pool and disperse it through the branches of that associate's profit share tree on a monthly basis. The associate sponsor gets half, the associate sponsor's sponsor gets 10%, and so on until all of it is dispersed through 7 levels of sponsorship. At Keller Williams Realty, we believe the profit will grow exponentially when everybody has the opportunity to share in it. We believe in finding the win-win and in doing the right thing, because together, everyone will achieve more.
Nice. Classic video. There you go. Okay. So we're gonna do an exercise. Hit the next slide, Barb. All right. So again, I said my cap just reset, so I'm now paying profit. I'm now paying company dollar. For the sake of today's example, let's say due to my company dollar, my portion of what I'm contributing to the profit share pool in the office is $100. Okay. And again, there's a profit share factor, a nerdy formula. We can figure it all out. For the sake of the exercise, I'm contributing $100 to the profit share pool this month, which will be paid out next month on the 21st. Everyone follow me with that? Okay. Luckily for you, we're going to pay it out today with this exercise. So open up your paper there, and we have all the numbers. Okay. Who's number one?
Number one.
You're number one?
I'm just saying. Oh, I am number one.
All right, here's number one. Okay, so here, I joined Keller Williams July 6th of 2006 because of you. All right, so we had conversations, we were friends. He's like, hey, you should come join Keller Williams. It's a pretty cool place. And I'm like, yep, sign me up. And I joined because of you. I filled out that form and wrote your name down.
All right.
Cool, huh?
Yeah.
So because of that, I'm paying company dollar this month. You're the reason I joined. You get $50. $50 today. It's profit share day. High five, brother. Woo!
It was worth
Right
coming to the
there.
training today, wasn't it?
Yeah.
See?
Right there. Okay?
I love it.
Passive income right there. You influenced me. 2006. You're getting $50 today. Awesome. Now, who did Pierre name for our exercise today? Who's number two?
Tammy.
Tammy and Hutchinson. Because of my production this month, Tammy and Hutchinson gets a whopping $10. Okay, go buy Qdoba. They're in Hutchinson. I recommend the queso right there. Let's make sure Tammy gets that $10.
Thank you.
Congratulations. All right. When Tammy joined, who did she name for our exercise?
Emily.
Emily. Okay. Do we know which Emily we got online today? Let's make sure we find her. Did she drop off? Maybe this wasn't that exciting. Okay, Emily, you get $5 today. Okay. Emily gets $5 as a result of my production. All right. Who did Emily name when she joined?
Tracy.
Tracy. Okay. Is Tracy with us, or she dropped off too? All right. We're just going to keep the money if you're not here. All right, Tracy, you get $5 as a result of my production this month. All right. Who did Tracy name?
Jordan.
Tracy named Jordan. Jordan is here. Awesome realtor out of the Otsego area. Showed a property for me. She is fantastic. Jordan, you get $7.50 today as a result of my production. All right. Now, who did Jordan name?
Candy.
Candy with an EE at the end, right? Are you still here? She is still here. Look at that. What a commitment. You get $10, Candy. And then the 7th level gets $12.50. Who did Candy name when she joined?
Carissa.
Carissa. Carissa, you still here? Woohoo! Carissa, you get $12.50 as a result of my production this month. Now, we're gonna figure out how to get you all this money at a team leader meeting or whatever. We'll put it in envelopes. Thank you guys for coming. Here's my question. And this is a cultural question. Does Carissa, Candy, Tammy, Emily, Jordan, Pierre, Tammy, does everyone care about my production?
Yes.
Why?
You get paid every time you get paid.
You have a vested interest in my success, right? So from a cultural standpoint, the profit share of Keller Williams is the glue that keeps our company and the heartbeat of our company together. If Jordan is knocking it out of the park with something and I want to learn from her, you think she's going to share her secrets with me? Yeah, she is, because one of the things we said in that one slide, together everyone achieves more. If she helps me grow, the profit grows, we all benefit in this company. And the cool part is it's not just in your profit share tree. Let's say, for example, someone's in the market center that's not in my profit share tree, but they're struggling with something and I help them in some way, and therefore they do more business. We have more profit. We have more profit to share. Is that a good thing for everyone? Yep. So we always want to help each other succeed at the highest level. Let's just pause. Questions, comments, thoughts, rude remarks. What did you learn in this exercise?
Is there a reason to get smaller than bigger?
Yeah, we're always asked that question, right? We're always asked that question. So I don't have a great answer besides I remember the late Dave Jenks talking about they did it this way because like when you get down to these levels, the money grows a lot quicker and bigger and explodes. So I think they reward your length of time with the company and longevity and the ability to help influence over time. Because if we're going to be honest here, like so I truthfully named Jan Simonson, my high school buddy's mom, up in Fargo. Her sponsor was the OP up in Fargo. His sponsor was his cousin down in Texas, whatever. So if like I go up 7 levels, a lot of those people have no idea who I am, if we're going to be honest. And yet at the same time, there are people making a lot of money in these 6th and 7th levels due to profit share. So I think it's just rewarding the longevity of the company and growth over time is what I remember Dave saying. You got any thoughts on that?
That's pretty much spot on. Is this just, again, that longevity and it builds. I'm just looking at mine from last month. My level 1, so the $50 example you have, my level 1 last month was $850. My level 7 last month was $558.
Nice.
So that's where, again, it builds over time and deep. That's why. And then you hit on it, and I pulled this out specifically because Rosie's in the room and Kimmy's in the room, and I'm going to spend some time with these 2 individuals because Rosie's in my level 1, and Kimmy's in my level 2. And that's why I said a moment ago, I want Kimmy to get passive income. So when Kimmy does this, I win as well. Mm-hmm. And Rob Daniel, Bold coach that Perry knows, and some of you may know, he said, when you're thinking about who you should call, we're always thinking about calling our buyers and sellers and the consumers and people like that. He goes, call your downline and see how you can actually give back, see how you can culturally share with them. And when I look at this, and I think I could spend time with each and every individual on my downline. Last month, I have 139 total people, and going through the economic model with them, going through a 411 with them. Because again, that example, you nailed it, just it's there. And that's where, again, everybody achieves more.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a great point. We're going to talk a little bit about who we can introduce to the company, but what you need to do if you're just getting started, but for those of us who've been around long enough who actually have a profit share tree, if we just invested an hour a month trying to pour into those people, this is going to grow. I used to on the 21st of the month, every month, and I need to get back to it, text everyone in my tree just to check it. But now it's like 250 people, so I can't do that anymore. But yeah, it's a big opportunity. So we're gonna,
Perry,
yeah, go ahead.
quick question. You might have already mentioned this, but just for people that are newer, can you remind them where they can go to like look at their profit share?
Yep. So if you go to mykw.kw.com and you log in, you're going to see on the left-hand side your picture and your profile. Click under reports, right under there, and then it's going to pull up all your reports, and it's under profit share. And you can reach out to your leadership in the Uptown office. They could show you. I see Jason on the call. I bet you Jason knows where it's at. So yeah, it's under reports under mykw.
Thank you.
Mind if I interject real quick, Perry?
Yeah, please.
Only because you called me out. If you have the Command mobile app on your phone, your profit share statement is also going to be right on the homepage of that at the very bottom of the screen. So another quick tip for you.
That's a new update. That's right.
Brand new, and I love it.
Yeah, and if you don't have your app on your phone, go see the local tech person in your office or agent services, and they'll help you get it there. All right, we're going to speed through the rest because I want to make sure we get to the key points as far as who and how. So click on the next slide. Okay, so again, you obviously named someone, they named someone, and then part of the fun here, so here's it again, for the sake of time, we're not going to do this in the class. See how far you can go back. Okay, so draw out the 7 levels and see how far you can go back as far as who you named, who they named 7 back. And if you're newer to Keller Williams and you go back that far and you see some pretty awesome agents that are in those 7 spots, you should reach out to them and say, hey, I noticed I'm in your profit share tree, would love to connect with you and if you ever teach a class or if I can learn from you, would love the opportunity to do so. I would take that call all day. Okay, so keep going. All right, so your first level, second, and it goes all the way 7 steps. So here's the truth. Here is our job is to just focus on the first level. Right? When I was a team leader, and I need to get back to this, I had a goal of adding 7 to my tree every single year. And I think if I look at my first line now, I think I have like 30 people in my first line. I did notice, I don't know if anybody from Fargo is on the call, but I think they had probably like $50,000, $25,000 in profit share this past month, which I'm kind of excited for the 21st because I'm betting there's we call it the comma club. I bet I'll be in the comma club this month, which means it'll be over $1,000, which is kind of cool for passive income. If I had 3 investment properties, I'm willing to bet I wouldn't make over $1,000 a month in passive income with 3 investment properties. Okay, keep going. All right, you may or may not know this. So we do growth share as well. So anywhere in the world, if you influence someone to join Keller Williams outside of North America, it's called growth share. Okay, so if I go on a trip to the Bahamas and is that North America? I don't know. That's not a good example. If I go to Greece with my wife, she has a work trip in September. If I go to Greece with her and I introduce a realtor there to Keller Williams, I would get growth share. It's run a little bit differently than profit share. All right, so here's a great question. People say, oh, well, Perry, Mac, you guys are dinosaurs. You joined a long time ago. Is this too late? So here's the point. The best time to plant the tree is today. All right, you can use a lame excuse. Oh, I'm too late. It's too competitive. Blah 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 blah. I want to go big. You need to think small and just focus on who you can influence to join our company. And we'll talk about in a little bit. It's not about you influencing them for your benefit. It's you influencing them for their benefit and how they can win in real estate through our company. All right. So I would say make a list of at least 5 people that could potentially be a fit for our company. All right, so there's an assignment. Question is, what would profit share do for you and your family? My wife and I were going to buy a house in 2025. 3 years from now. We just bought a house last month, and historically, I'm not very good at planning. And for some reason, I had a wild hair up my butt a couple years ago that I was going to start planning for this 2025 house. And so I put all of my profit share dollars into one account specifically for that purchase. And it allowed us, when I put that, put down the money on the house, I ended up putting $39,000 of profit share money down on this house that I decided to save. Without that, I don't know if I could have bought the house. All right. So keep going. Keep going. All right. So this is a key point. You want to relate to people, you want to affirm to your team leader, and you want the team leader to do their job and bring them to Keller Williams. All right. So do not show up and throw up Keller Williams on people. Because I used to do that. Honestly, I spent my first 2 years doing that up in Fargo. I'd literally show up and throw up red Kool-Aid all over people. Don't do that. So your job is not to bring people to Keller Williams. Your job is to influence them to meet with the team leaders wherever, anywhere in the world, and let them do their jobs. Okay. Your job is to be an amazing agent and to relate to those agents and introduce them to the team leader. Would you agree, John?
100%.
Okay. All right, next slide. All right, so nearly anyone can be part of your profit share tree. So very simply, my advice would be anyone you do a deal with, if they're an awesome agent, here's what I say. I call them up and I'll say, I'm trying to think of the one I recently did. What's that guy's name? I can't think of it. Basically, I'll say, hey, Bob, you're an awesome agent. I loved working with you. What would it take for you to consider coming working at Keller Williams with me? That's what I say every time. They're going to say, thank you. That's really nice. You were great to work with too. And most of the time they say no, just so you're aware. But if you don't ask the question, the answer is always no. If you ask, you have a 50-50 shot of yes. So they can say, I'm happy where I'm at, I'm on a team, whatever. They can say a million different things, but you have to ask, hey, would you be open to considering coming to work with us? I love working with people like you, and you would be an awesome fit at our brokerage. 9 out of 10 times they're going to say they're happy where they're at. When they do that, I say, well, let me ask you this. What's the biggest challenge in your business right now? And rather than getting into a consultation with them about how we can help them fix that challenge, I'll be like, oh, you know what? We have several other agents struggling with that in our office. Would you be open to a conversation with our team leader about how we can help fix that? Again, it doesn't mean you're joining us by any means, but if we can help you overcome that issue, would it be at least worth a conversation? So that's my very simple strategy, is be an awesome co-op agent, ask them the question after, send them a gift, which we'll talk about in a little bit. That's the simplest way to do it. In addition to that, we, your past clients or just people you like in the service industry. So we go to our restaurant, we have an awesome experience. I'll say, you know what, you'd be awesome in my industry. And what are they going to say?
Industry.
What's your industry? Right. Well, I sell real estate. Have you ever considered it? No, I love selling carpet, whatever, right? Whatever it is. Yep. But we all know awesome people we come across. You know what? I like your energy. You're very service oriented. You'd be awesome in our industry. Have you ever considered a career move? What are they going to say? Yes, no, or maybe. Don't get attached to the outcome. Who cares if they say no? Right? So you'd be awesome in my industry is a sentence that you should be using at least every week. We also have, which is an underutilized tool, all the K-score stuff and like opportunity for people to take classes at a reduced rate, right?
No cost to them.
No cost to them, right? Don't say free. All right, hit the next slide. All right, where could you find people to build relationships with? Let's take 2 minutes and talk about this. This is interactive, so I can grab a drink of water and not talk.
I think the one you just mentioned is a huge, the service industry. There's a lot of people. I actually have an agent coming to, she's in K-Score right now. That was a server at Cowboy Jack's with us, and she's excited to start real estate.
Yeah, there you go. Where else?
You already said co-op agents, Barry, excuse me, but I wanted to sit on that for a second longer because I had sort of this limiting belief where it's like, didn't ask the question. It's been 2 years. It was a good experience. Never asked it. It's too late. And then Jen pushed me the other day. She's like, Jason, just dump everybody on me. So I went through all my transactions for the past year, sent her like 10 names of people I liked working with, and she set one appointment. Like it was really that easy. So it doesn't have to be a recent transaction, just any agent you've ever worked with. If they were nice, give them to your TL, give them to John.
So let's talk about that for a second, Jason. Let me ask you this. Did you tee it up with a conversation or did you just give her a list?
I teed it up with the conversation and then I gave her a list and then also included sort of like a background, like here's this person, here's what we did, you know, here's where they're at with our conversation. A lot of them were just voicemails, sort of just saying like, hey, you know, I worked with you a couple years ago on this deal. I really, you know, liked working with you. And, you know, I was calling to see if you'd be interested in having a conversation with RTL, what we're offering here at KW. She's gonna be calling you in a, little bit. So that was more or less what I said. So it was a really light tee up, but then I gave Jen more of the information on her end of sort of where she can lead that conversation, why I thought that'd be a good fit.
Love it. I'm glad you said that because here's part of the key point there is it's not, hey, John, here's the last 10 people I had a transaction with and I've had no dialogue with him whatsoever. That doesn't work as well. Okay. And here's the same thing. If you get a listing lead, if someone refers them to you, if those people have a conversation, that's a lot easier to convert than you cold calling. Would you agree? This is just like that. So the key, Jason, is you actually have to have some type of dialogue. Even if it is you're a wuss and you don't want to talk to them, so you slide dial and leave a voicemail, that's the,
Hey, I didn't slide dial them, all right?
out, and it's still you made the call, right? So
Yeah.
either way, yeah. So okay, keep going, Barb. All right, so keep going. So I like to start with a real compliment. Like people know when you're blowing smoke up their tail, right? So one of the things we did in Otsego when I was team leader is we had Co-op Agent of the Month awards all the time, which was huge. That was how I set most of my appointments. And Tammy knows this because she's on the call. We used to have the opportunity to nominate a Co-op Agent of the Month, and then we'd give a real compliment like, hey, I loved working with, Wade on that transaction. He was really good at follow-up and he always answered our questions in a timely manner. So then when I'm the team leader making the call, I'd be like, hey, Wade, sounds like you just had a great transaction with Perry. He mentioned that you were really, really great at your follow-up. He mentioned what an outstanding agent you are. Would love to have a conversation with you to see if we might be a fit to be in business together. All right. So start with an actual real compliment when you're talking to people and don't make it up. All right. Keep the relationship first and foremost. So here's the deal. This isn't about you growing your profit share. This is about impacting their life. And again, this is key. I always talk about how you can support them. Again, most of these brokerages do not. So that Remax, I didn't say Remax, that Remax gal who I've been talking to that I'm setting an appointment with, she's like, don't you guys have a ton of meetings at Keller Williams? And I'm like, yeah, they're called trainings and they're awesome. Most of these other brokerages, with all due respect to the other brokerages, do not have the support and training and resources that we have. So you want to share as much as possible, give freely with no expectation of anything in return. If you do that the rest of your life, you're gonna be fine. Be open to any outcomes. This isn't about them joining. This is about them helping them and building a relationship over time. All right, come from contribution. This is an older slide too, and at the same time, there's a million different value-added tools we can give folks to help them build their business. What are some tools you would give to a co-op agent? So I'll start with the MREA book would be number one. If they don't have that, the One Thing book would be number two. If they don't have that, the MREI book would be number three. This Remax agent I'm talking to has never read the MREA book. She bought it at a thrift store for $2.
I'll chime in, Perry. Similar strategy that I do, but my number one, probably in the last couple of years, has been a non-Keller book.
Mm.
And for that reason, because just kind of building more of the relationship and connection. And then the number two book is the MREA. The Atomic Habits is probably one of the top ones that I'm using right now, as far as the number one book. And the reason for that is I'm going to learn a little bit about them, whether or not they've read the book, and whether or not they kind of relate to some of those habits that actually will fall in line real well with this career. And then that's where I can set up the MREA book real well. The other thing that I've done, and someone just chimed into me recently with this, is if there's movies that I like or things that I pick up that I really connect with, I'll do that. I had a co-op agent just literally text me the other night and said, Brady, I'm watching Moneyball and I thought of you. And Moneyball is a movie that's got just so many great sales lessons in it that I'll talk to people and I'll leverage those things, which then kind of goes down that path of relationship. And they talk about some of the things that they may have done or I may have done, really building that. And then we can come in with the MREA book or some of those other things.
That's really good at that.
Or then invite them to an event.
See, that's a key point too that we haven't talked about is let our classes do the heavy lifting. I mean, that's the easiest way. It's get them ingrained in our culture. I would recommend like the July 27th, the in-person big events to start off with. I know we've gotten away from those, but you know, I would start there. The Meg Agent interviews have been good. I would invite them to them. You know, they're doing a ton of great stuff in all the other offices. Invite them. Just invite them. All right, we got 5 minutes left. Hang in there. Keep going here. Okay, so here's the script. And again, this is kind of cheesy, so you got to make it your own. So again, my script is, hey, Bob, love doing the deal with you. You were awesome to work with. I told my team leader how awesome you were. He may call you to thank you for doing business with us. And again, I guess my bottom line is, question for you is, what would it take to have you come work with us at Keller Williams? See, and here's the deal. I spent many years not asking that question and be like, oh, we got a gift for you. I'd love to do a business consultation. Let's have coffee, like all that. Like skip the BS and get to the point because nobody has time to waste time. And I'm kind of direct, you may have noticed. All right, keep going. So John, and again, we don't have any other team members on the call. How do you best receive referrals?
I think basically how you're setting it up is have that conversation and then just letting me know what Jason was talking about a little bit is give a couple bullet points of what they were good at and why they enjoy doing the transaction with them, so that it makes sense for us to meet. Because just throwing a list of agents who may or may not be great agents isn't a helpful strategy for anyone.
Right. Cool. All right, couple slides. So here's a key point. You are not recruiting, okay? You'll have people say, oh, I don't want to be recruited. And I'm like, well, technically this is a compliment and I'd love to be in business with you. I'm not necessarily saying I'm recruiting you. At the same time, what would it take for you to be open to just a conversation? You don't know what you don't know. And one of the key points here is I don't want you to get tied up in the outcome, right? Some are going to say yes, some are going to say no, and it's okay. And if you just pour into them with nothing in return that you're expecting, you're going to win over time. All right, here's a key point. Never, ever, 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 ever bash another company, period, end of story. Everyone is doing the best they can with what they have, and they're in the best spot for them at the time. There are people who are thinking about making a move because they've come to the realization they're not in the best spot for them. And by us putting ourselves in opportunities way to have a conversation with them, you're increasing your chances of introducing them to our company. But never say, oh my gosh, why are you at red, white, and blue or blah, 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 whatever company. Never, ever bash another company, ever, period, end of story. I think in life, you're judged by what you say about others, not what others say about you. So never say anything negative, ever. Their company might be awful. I'm doing a deal right now with a company that isn't on trust funds. We had to mail a check. And I wanted to make fun of the guy, and I did not. So, all right, keep going. All right, follow up, connect with them on social media, invite them to a class. The fortune's in the follow-up here. A no isn't a no, it's just not right now, not without more information. And again, you're building a relationship over time. Ask them what their struggles are. I'm willing to bet you whatever the agent you're talking to is struggling with, we have a solution. All right, so build a plan. We're going to kind of wrap with this. Yeah, we're going to wrap with this. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take 2 minutes and come up with one action item as a result of our time together. And we have to have at least 2 people in the room share and 2 people online, and then I'm going to let you go. And then can you go to the last slide? Keep going. One more. Right there. All right, action items. Again, this is your endorsement deal.
I'm gonna start using your conversation with other co-op agents.
Say it again, Tammy, one more time.
I took a screenshot of your conversation to have with other co-op agents.
Nice. How many are you going to have in the next month?
How many am I gonna have?
Yeah. Conversations.
Well, I guess I would have them maybe after my closings. I don't know, a couple a month. I don't know.
Okay, so 2. 2, okay? You could say yes, you could say no.
Yeah.
All right. So the next month, Tammy's gonna have 2 conversations. Ashley's on the call. She can remember that. We'll tell Craig. And we'll follow. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Who else? Nobody else going to say anything after that. 1 more online and 2 in the room.
I'll go. Prior to coming to Keller Williams, I was at 2 other brokerages. And so it's as simple as, for me, making a list of who did I work with at those previous brokerages that is not at Keller yet, that would benefit from making or having a conversation or be a good fit. Not everyone is.
That's a key point.
So narrowing down and finding, a handful.
Okay, so the action item is to make a list.
Yeah.
And then what?
And reach out. I mean, I talk to some of these people on a regular basis, but not about this specifically. So checking in more on how is business, and one brokerage in particular I know is going through some stuff. So just, would you be interested in having a conversation and then passing them off to John?
Sweet. So we're making a list and then we're doing reach outs.
Yeah.
Sweet. Who else? We got 2 more. Education without implementation is just entertainment, and we're not that entertaining. So 2 more. Barb, yes.
I have my father-in-law and a good friend who are both agents at a different brokerage that I keep saying I need to have set up the warm handoff to John. So I should just do it and get those 2 to John.
I love that.
Take that one step further and just say, go back, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So Barb, what would you do, given his example earlier, how Pierre just pocketed $50 here? You said 2 individuals. What would you do, Barb, if you got $100 every month extra?
Holy buckets. Well, we're having a baby in October, so putting it towards baby steps.
And the reason why I ask that is that sometimes is that leverage for you to actually, do that handoff to John. Because we don't know, John will ask a few questions and they may interact. And like Perry said a moment ago, these individuals might be like thinking here for the last month or 60 days, like, I don't know that where I'm at, where I should be at. Thank you so much for setting up this invitation. And now I had a great conversation with John. I want to make a move. And then all of a sudden you begin receiving $100 a month.
One of the things that's shared on the profit share mastermind on Facebook is if you take your profit share check each month and multiply that times 300, that's what you have to be invested annually to make that money. So keep that in mind that $100, whatever it is, times 300, you'd have to have invested annually at 4%.
There we go. One more online.
Fine. If no one else wants to, I will. I think my biggest aha from this course is just take action, make a plan, be purposeful, right? Like we, as agents, get purposeful about lead generation. We have marketing and prospecting plans. And I think a lot of times people wait for profit share to just fall in their lap. It's not gonna. I mean, a couple might, but get purposeful about it, right? What are some offers we can offer? What can we give people to elicit responses? Is there a smart plan we can build? Because we have a 36 touch just for recruits that we want to add to our profit share line. 100%. So what does it look like? And something I'm going to do personally is I'm actually in the process of filling out the paperwork right now. I'm going to teach CE classes for MAR and then set up lunch appointments with everyone who comes. And that's going to be my big, my one thing for building my downline.
I love it, Jason. Awesome. Take action. All right. So here's my closing quote for you is not every conversation can change the trajectory of a life, and every conversation can. For you to be a part of someone's story and impact their life the way this company can is a huge opportunity that if you choose to take seriously, you can impact a lot of lives. All right. Thank you guys for coming. I kept you 14 minutes longer. We appreciate you. And as a result of this class, if you take action and have success, or if you have failure, because you'll have both, I would love to hear from you personally on how it went.
Thanks, Barry.
Awesome.
We good?
Thanks, Barry.
Woohoo! Thank you.
Sweet. Thanks for the invite.